Because we know that in order to catch you, we have to impress you. So allow us to impress. Now, the more inquisitive and interested you are, the more information he will give you. Say something like, wow, how did you get into that field? Or, how interesting. What does it take to make that successful? And listen carefully. Now, the whole time he's talking, you should be evaluating whether he is actually working hard to meet his goals or he is a lazy dreamer just talking a whole lot of nonsense. You should also be figuring out if you see yourself in that short-term plan. If you know what his plan is, you can immediately assess if you want to be part of it and what role you can play in it, or if you need to remove yourself from that equation. So, that is the first question. What are your short-term goals? Now, the second question is, what are your long-term goals? Now, trust me on this. A man who really has a vision for where he wants to see himself in 10 years has looked into the future and seriously considered what it will take for him to get there. It means he has foresight and he's plotting out the steps to his future. If he says something silly like, I'm just trying to make it day by day, run. And I seriously mean run in the opposite direction. If his long-term plans is the same as his short-term plans, get out immediately, because his answer tells you that he hasn't thought his life through or he doesn't see you in it, and so has no reason to divulge the details to you. Now, all he's got for you is game. He wants to play you. If he doesn't have a plan, why do you want to stick around anyway? The man you should consider spending a little time on is the one who has a plan, a well thought out plan that you can see yourself in. The second question, what are your long-term goals? The third question is, what are your views on relationships? Now, this one is multiple part question that sizes up how a man feels about a gamut of relationships, from how he feels about his parents to his connection with God, his siblings, co-workers, neighbors, people around him. How does he view relationship? Each answer would reveal a lot more about him, whether he's serious about commitment, the kind of household in which he was raised, what kind of father and husband he might be, whether he knows God, and all of that. And the only way you'll find out the answer to these questions is just to ask. Do it before you kiss this man. Maybe even before you agree to go on a date with him. This is a great phone conversation for sure. You can do this on the phone. Because if you ask him this question and he goes, what exactly do you mean? Now, that tells you he's a smart brother. So you have to be careful. And being careful means that you have to now trim down your question. Like, okay, what's your view on relationship? Example, your relationship with your mother. And if he goes, oh, my mother, Lord, that woman, she never understands me. We're always quarreling. We're always at loggerheads. And we're not close. We're not close. Just know that he might never get along with you. Because if the woman who he came in contact with first in his entire life, he cannot get along with that woman, what are the possibilities? What are the potential that he would get along with you? So, that should throw up your red flag, like, or better still, an alarm in your head. Gang, 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 run. Run. Then, if you want to know more, but if he tells you, oh, I have a wonderful relationship with my mother, I love her so much, she loves me, she does a lot of stuff for us, to keep the family together, that tells you this is a brother who has very deep family values, and this is someone that you can actually plan your future with. And then you go ahead and ask more questions. Okay, how about your father? How about your siblings? How about, the stranger on the road? Just getting his ideas. You are peeping into his mind to know the kind of person he is as a brother. So that is the third question. What are your views on relationship? And let him talk. Like I said earlier, brothers, we love to talk about ourselves. So just sit down, listen, and enjoy yourself. First question is, what are your short-term goals? Second question is, what are your long-term goals? Third question is, what are your views on relationships? This is, like I said earlier, a multiple-part question that demands multiple-part answers. So listen to him and let him speak to you. All right? Now, the fourth question is, what do you think about me? What do you think about me? Now, this one you'll have to ask after a few dates. Listen, ask this question after a few dates because he's going to need time to get to know you. But his answer will be critical because it will reveal to you what his plans for you are. If you've been out on a couple of dates and you've had lots of conversation, you know, something about him, but what's more important, you want to know what he is thinking about you. If you've been out on a couple of dates and you've had lots of conversation, you know something about him.